We are a real estate agency working in real estate sales. And we operate nationally throughout Australia. At the moment, we're in 4 states and territories. We have outsourced the agent support team, which is also our customer operations team. It's very much a hybrid role. So the representatives we have working offshore at the moment are the assistants for our agents who work primarily with property administration, which involves marketing, as well as assistance during the sale process, which is more legal in nature and very operational, so customer operations. The best way to describe the role that we've outsourced, I suppose, is as a virtual assistant, but we do some traditional customer service as well, very much a hybrid role. Our organisation is a fixed fee real estate agency, so we offer a full service for a low fixed fee rather than the traditional percentage commission model. One of the ways we get our prices down is just by modernising the whole practice from start to finish. Our agents have always worked remotely from home since well before the pandemic. That saves a lot of overheads in local offices, which we don't need. We have a centralised head office in Sydney. We run our operations nationally from that one head office. And of course, we also have some tasks which are outsourced, which is the team that I manage. I've been working with remote staff directly for just over 2 years now. I think our operations have been with remote staff for 3 years. When I came on with our company, I actually worked within the customer operation teams myself. I moved into sales operations and I stayed very close to the customer operations team when we first engaged remote staff and outsourced the work through to you. About a year or a couple of months after that was when I directly started to manage the team who worked through remote staff. I think outsourcing work is really something that's rewarding, very rewarding. There's some very tangible benefits, but of course it's a challenge. I've found that remote staff have been really accommodating in trying to assist me throughout that challenge. Initially, we were in some offices in Manila, which is the same office that the remote staff headquarters were at. I've actually traveled to Manila. I used to go every quarter before the pandemic, so I'm quite familiar with everyone there. We've been able to have some good meetings to really discuss strategy for recruitment, which is the biggest concern for us. You know, we need a really high level of service. Real estate is, you know, I'm hardly going to say it's Gucci. You know, it's not the most luxury thing, but when you talk about the value of what we're selling, it's a lot bigger than Gucci. So the stakes are really high. Recruitment is certainly something that you know, remote staff have been able to do for us, you know, and take our feedback on board in you know, changing the strategy, trying different things to really make sure that, you know, in a city with tens of millions of people, you know, millions of which probably work in, you know, the BPO industry, we really need that top 1% to come and work for our company. So I found remote staff very accommodating. Our staff is so helpful. They're so eager to do the right thing, to throw themselves into the work, to take on the challenges of the role. It's a really complex role, which they have to do. So it's important they have the right support there. So I stay very close to it. You know, it is a full-time job for me. You know, to manage the team, to manage the processes, to do their coaching, their development, their training, you know, really to bring them into a new industry that they have no experience of, no baseline, and make sure that we get them to the point where, you know, it's such a localized experience where the Australian customer often has no idea that they're dealing with someone who's overseas. I think, you know, in general, the level of English within the Philippines is phenomenal for a second language. I think everyone learns it at school, so it's really natural. But of course, there's always localization that you need to run through, and that's something that I work closely on. I really do enjoy working with the team so much. They're amazing, and I wouldn't have it any other way. The benefit for the business is really clear. It means that we can scale up really quickly. The overheads for the customer operation team are so low by comparison to if we did it in Australia. So when we're scaling up, it's just about hiring new agents in Australia. We don't need to worry so much about the budget for the customer operations team, that work behind the scenes to facilitate all of that. And that takes a big pressure off us. I would recommend remote staff to someone else. When you're thinking about outsourcing, all you need is someone to open that door for you. And remote staff can certainly do that. I think the recruitment process with remote staff runs pretty smoothly. You just need to get a job description put together. And I suppose that's the first step with outsourcing. Work out exactly what the job is, what they're going to be doing. Of course, you're going to need processes for what they're doing as well. And sometimes you may not have that in place. That's the work that you need to do. Once you've got that ready, engaging remote staff is easy. Getting candidates doesn't take too long. And of course, you provide feedback to make sure you're getting the standard that you want. I found the screening process with remote staff to be great. There's assessments that I can look at measuring things like customer service etiquette, writing skills, English proficiency. Of course, I'm welcome to do my own assessments as well, which I do, my own interviewing, which is the final step. And then from there, you have a direct line to the team. I have full control. And that's really something that's important for me in outsourcing. It's that it still needs to be done the way, into the standards that I set, the way I want it to be done. And I have full ability to do that with my team, which is so important.
Remote staff, empowering remote working relationships.